Hey guys, welcome to the Provokers podcast, where we talk about things that you probably should too. Today I'm joined by...
I'm John, also known as Juben Stevens.
And I am your host, the first host for the new year, 2026. And obviously we're recording this in December, because we pre-record for the holidays, because I won't be available, the 21st, which is a Sunday, and I definitely won't be available whatever that next Sunday is after that. And I'm assuming John, similar situation, so we pre-record these. So for you guys listening to this, it is officially 2026. So Happy New Year's, everyone, and hopefully this year doesn't suck as much booty as the previous years, which I don't know. 2023 was not awful; it wasn't great. Then we're like, oh, maybe 2024 will be better. It wasn't. And then we're like, oh, maybe 2025 will be better. It definitely wasn't. It's almost like we're on a roller coaster here, and then we've been going down, we've been still on the same first drop since 2022 basically. So hopefully 2026 is better. We'll see. Well, I think I listened to an episode where it was another New Year's episode. The topic wasn't New Year's related, but it was a New Year's episode. It was me and the other guy were like, yeah, let's hope that 2025 is the best year ever. And I was listening to it literally the other day, and I'm like, well, poor past us, because we were wrong.
Indeed. It was a rough year, a rough start of the year, at least for me, and from what it sounds like, the same was true for you. So it was not as pleasant as it could have been.
No, 2024 was about as good as dog vomit on a salad. That's basically what it was, because you're expecting a really good salad, and then boom, dog vomit. Or as I like to say, a cake made of worms. Because it looks like it's going to be amazing, delicious cake, and you open and it's just worms, alive worms too, not dead worms. So
yeah,
let's hope 2026 is great, and we'll look back on this episode in December of 2026 and be like, well, man, it just we have our losing streak of getting this right is expanding. so But yeah, regardless, Happy New Year's, everyone. Let's hope that we make the best out of this year. And I read a quote that said a lot of people reflect on their accomplishments throughout the year and all the things they got to do and stuff. And one of the quote that I read said, "It's okay if your only accomplishment this year was surviving it." And I was like, that's a good quote. So
especially these times. It's quite an accomplishment.
Yes. So keep that in mind just in case you need to hear that. So, but yes, I'm the first host of 2026, and you read the title already, and so you're like, what is happening? But we'll get into that later, and John doesn't even know what's happening either. I mean, he knows that he's writing stuff down, because I made him get a pen or paper. So he knows that. But he doesn't necessarily know what the topic is. And maybe he has some ideas, and maybe he might be right, or maybe he's wrong. As we all know, bald people are wrong 98% of the time. So it's just how it goes. I'm pretty sure. Well, I made the law, and that means I also made every website ever. And I'm pretty sure I published that in 15 different websites, saying that bald men are 98% wrong all the time. So irrefutable evidence, really. So, but yeah, so we got some small talk. So for us, again, it's December, so we're going to be still talking about, we're gearing up for Christmas, so keep that in mind. For you guys, Christmas and New Year's have passed, but... John, what's going on with you, man? We got one more Friday till Christmas. I mean, we have 2 weeks, technically, but this Friday that's coming up is our last Friday before Christmas, so how you been doing over there?
I mean, I've been doing all right. I got my school is still going. It's right in the end of the semester right here. So literally today I have a final that's due, and then tomorrow I have a final that's due, and then I'm done. So it's really right up the finish line for this one. But I got most of my Christmas shopping done. I was saying before we started the recording that I everyone except for 2 people. So
nice. Yeah, so, for me, not too, I was going to say not too different, but it kind of is, because I'm not in college. But it's been a bit of an interesting December so far. I mean, I've had a decent time with December. It's We went Christmas shopping. I think I mentioned this on the last episode, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. We went Christmas shopping Black Friday, and then the day after that, and I got most people done. I just need 2 more things, I think, for 2 people left at this point. But I just plan to go to like Five Below or something and search around because they're kids, so they don't, they're not too hard to please. So, got that done, and I had actually an in-person job interview yesterday. So come January, I'll probably have a job, which that won't affect the podcast, obviously. But so that's gonna be interesting. So it's gonna be having more money flowing in for again, which is helpful because obviously I'm gonna be getting a PC here pretty soon. It's almost gonna be like a belated Christmas gift for myself. And gosh diddly darn it, if you bought gifts for yourself this year, don't be ashamed of that. You deserve gifts too, and it's all right if you bought them. Doesn't matter. It's your money, ain't it? You can decide what you do with your money. I've encountered that before where because I got some stuff for myself this year, and people were like, "You can't buy yourself presents." I'm like, "Why can't I? What's stopping me? It's my money." Obviously I won't open it up on Christmas Day and be like, "I can't believe it. Who gave me this?" But gosh darn it, you deserve it. So don't be ashamed.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, I think a couple weeks ago, I was looking to Amazon to get some of my presents for people, and then I saw something that I liked. I was like, you know what? What if I just treat myself? It's Christmas. This is my money. I don't have to justify this to anyone.
Right.
I'm gonna buy this.
Exactly.
And so I did.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's kind of what I went to, because once you give everyone I don't know how John does it, because I'm able to, people always ask me for lists for me for Christmas. It takes a little bit, but I usually come up with one for everybody. And so once those lists are out, I'm not going to add to them. I'm not going to be like, hey, also, can you throw in this? I'm like, no, I'm just going to buy it for myself. It's my own, I give myself presents. So yeah, don't be ashamed. If any of you have done that this year, don't be ashamed of it. Because if you're an adult spending your own money, you have the right to do that. If you're a kid that stole your mom's credit card, that's a little different, and that's not what we're talking about. So then you should be ashamed. But
yes, you heard it here first, folks. You shouldn't steal your mother's credit cards.
I like how we joke about blowing up orphanages, lighting satellites on fire, but where we draw the line is stealing your mom's credit card. That's just unacceptable.
That's just unacceptable. Yeah, what do you do that?
Right. So, but obviously we joke. So, that's all I really had for small talk. This week in particular hasn't been too interesting. Oh, actually, I mentioned this, I think, last time, but for me in present time, not for you guys, this is in January. For me, current time, I am going to watch the FNAF 2 movie literally tomorrow, on Monday the 15th. So, I think it's going to be pretty great. I'm probably going to enjoy it either way, because I know the critics gave it like a freaking 11% or whatever. But who cares about what the critics say, because the audience is like an 89, so obviously the audience likes it. So, that's all that matters to me. And I've been told by little birdies that they're setting up for a third one. So, obviously, they're trying to run with it. I'm glad they're actually I'm actually not pumping them out, because that'd be like, they wouldn't be good if that was the case. But I'm glad they're actually just getting momentum with these now, because we were supposed to have a FNAF movie like 12 years ago. Like, I'm pretty sure it was announced in 2016 or something, and then we never got it. And so I'm glad we're actually finally getting some. And the FNAF 2 one, specifically from the trailers, because I have seen the trailers, it looks really cool. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good time. We're going to an AMC, and AMC always has the recliners where you can basically sleep in the recliner, like that's how far it goes back. So we're gonna have a good time.
That's great. I'm also going to see it this week. I'm seeing it on Tuesday because I was like, you know what? Classes are done. I'll have a little thing to be like, to reward myself for getting through this semester. So
see, it's a Christmas present for yourself. See?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, hey, I didn't even know that. But, yeah, I think it's going to be good. Like I said, obviously, is it going to be movie of the year? I mean, it depends on how garbage the other movies are, but I'd assume probably not. But then again, I liked the Mario movie, and I wouldn't say that was movie of the year, right? For me, I guess it could be just because I don't watch movies that often. Like, FNAF 2 movie is going to be the first movie I've watched pretty much all year. I haven't really watched movies at all. I'm more of a book and game and YouTube person, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna be the first movie I've seen in a long time. So, but
It's fair.
yeah. So unfortunately, we won't be able to tell you guys how much we liked it or didn't like it until it'd be January 16th or like mid to late January is when we'd be able to tell you, because we'll be returning probably to the podcast on the 4th, but we'd still have a couple episodes that would go out before those. So whatever time it would be, we'll let you know whenever it happens during a small talk section. So, but moving out of small talk and moving into headlines, I got one that was interesting that I wanted to read. Where did it go? It doesn't exist. Oh, here we go. So a recent survey in America specifically found that 41% of Americans think tipping culture has gone out of control. A growing number of restaurants are now test driving tip-free dining, a pushback against what many call tipflation. I like how we're just adding words to the word inflation. So they're paying servers more and not relying on customers to tip them. And when I read that, I'm like, why haven't we been doing that before? Why is this just now happening in 2025? To me, this should have been freaking historic times. This should have been done in 1864. Companies should just pay people more, and then tipping culture wouldn't have gotten as bad as it is right now. Because 41% is almost 50%. It's almost the majority. So I'm part of that 41%. I think tipping culture has gone out of control. If I am eating out, I will, and it's really good, and it's a decent service, I will leave a tip. I never even rarely leave a no tip at all. Unless they were like rude or something, then I won't do it. But I've never really experienced that. But tipping, I like, tipping on like things that don't need to be tipped. Like if I'm serving myself, why would I tip you? You didn't do anything. Like I know it's nice, but you didn't do anything. You didn't serve me anything. I served myself. Like, think of self-checkout. Some self-checkouts ask you for a tip. It's like, am I tipping the robot? Because the robot doesn't need money. I need money more than the robot needs money. So, yeah, I'm part of the 41% that thing has got out of control. And I'm glad to hear some restaurants are finally trying to do that. Because I think if some restaurants start the train, I think almost all the restaurants would start doing it. Because then, if they don't, the people working there will be like, all right, I'm gone. Here's my 2-week notice. I'm going to go to a restaurant that will pay me more. Like it's going to be a train that once it just needs a little bit of a push, but once it gets going, it's on the tracks. So I'm glad to hear that they're finally trying to do that. So
right, I've always kind of felt like it's been a little ridiculous the amount you gotta tip, and it's less that it's like, I don't want to give anybody my money. It's just that the restaurants shouldn't be allowed to get away with underpaying their staff because they get tips, and that's basically how it goes.
Yeah.
And I think a tip should be like, oh, this person did a really good job. I want to give them some extra couple bucks because they did a really good job in serving me today.
Right.
Yeah. Rather than being like, oh, well, here's your. Like, this is just part of the check because it's what we do here. It's like, it should just be included, and some places do include it in the check. They're like, here, this is how much you should tip.
Yeah.
But I think it's just ridiculous.
And I think you should tip I think it's 20% is what they market. If you have a group of like 8 or 9, you should leave a tip because they're juggling like so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But yeah, it's my main problem is like self-serve stuff where they hand you one item and they ask you for a 20% tip, which is oftentimes the bare minimum. Like sometimes it says 20, 25, and 30. It's like, where'd the 15 go? Where'd the 18 go? You're removing the lesser options that people are choosing. And then I saw that there's a restaurant in California, because of course it's California, where they took away the no tip option. You couldn't not leave a tip. You had to leave a tip. And you want to know what the bare minimum was? 25%. And this was a Starbucks, which I do, like, Starbucks is weird because there's so many, like, I don't go there, but there's so many different drinks and stuff. Like, I could see why tipping them would be fine, but removing the option to not tip is kind of, like, not totalitarian, but like it's infringing on, like, if I have to tip you in order to get my coffee, like that, or to complete the transaction, which is a little nuts. So I'm glad it's moving in the opposite direction, where most restaurants are not doing that, and more restaurants are moving towards actually paying their workers more. Because you shouldn't rely on tips. You should rely on your paycheck, and tips are just a great bonus. You know what I mean?
Because I have some friends in the, who work for restaurants, and they rely on tips. I think the person I was talking to, I think they were saying their employment is a little bit better in the sense that, like, they would be fine under no tips. I could be wrong, because this was a conversation I had like a month ago. So I think they were saying they would be fine without tips, but obviously you'd really want tips, because if you didn't get tips, you didn't get as much money. I was like, yeah, that's fair. But I'm basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm for restaurants paying their workers what they're owed, instead of just being like, oh, well, because we got a rich customer come in here today, you get more money than what you would have gotten. And because it's a slow day, you get nothing.
Yeah,
so that's not fair. Because my time is worth that money. If I'm sitting here in a restaurant for 8 hours and no one comes in, I wasted 8 hours if I don't get paid.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so just overall glad to see that they're trying to do it. I don't know when it's going to come into full effect, like when a majority of restaurants are going to start doing it, but hopefully soon. So, but moving on, I do have an email, and actually it's my last email that I have that specifies that we can read on the podcast. So if you want to submit an email to us, you can head on over to the Brokers Podcast website and check out go to the contact page, and the email for the Provokers is right there. Email that, type your suggestion, your ideas, or just general you want to talk to us, and then put somewhere in there that you want me to read it on the podcast. That way I know that you're giving me consent to do so. And then I will happily read it on the podcast when we have time for that. Because obviously I've switched between this and then obviously the Creator Showcase. Because next episode I will have a Creator Showcase instead. So yeah, this is the last email that I got that specifies if I can read it. And it says, "Hello, Ethan and John. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. I wanted to recommend that you guys talk about popular analog horror stuff. I'm a huge fan of analog horror, and I would love to see you guys talk about it. It'll be my new favorite episode, just barely beating out The Forgiveness Project. I also want to say that the quality of series topic episodes has definitely increased since season 1. I find myself re-listening to them often. You guys are doing a great job despite the difficult circumstances you faced. And I just wanted you guys to know that. Hashtag hyped for season 3. And there's no name attached to this again, but you know who you are. This is a pretty custom message, so you should know who you are. But yeah, whoever you are, that's a great message. I really appreciate it. Everything from the suggestion of analog horror, which actually is already on the list. I didn't specify for myself like what necessarily we talk about in theory, but it's on the list, so I know that it's a thing we'd come to at some point. I added it a while ago. We just haven't got to it yet. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad that the Forgiveness Project, currently anyway, is your favorite episode. I think that makes a ton of sense. I think, the Forgiveness Project is one of my better overall serious topic episodes. It talks about something very personal to each individual person, because someone's wronged you in the past, probably. Like, it's almost impossible to avoid. Or someone's done something to you, or whatever. And we all, some people are better getting rid of grudges than others, but eventually, we all have a grudge against someone, right? So it's good to kind of release that grudge, because having that grudge doesn't affect them at all. They probably don't even know you have that grudge. But it does affect you, especially internally. So it's one of my favorites, serious topic episodes. If you have not heard it, please go do so. Yeah, I think I 100% agree. 1,000,000% actually agree. That the season 2 serious topic episodes have been better quality than the ones in season 1. Not to discount the season 1 ones, But just saying overall, I would agree that season 2 serious topic episodes are way better. And actually, the one, not the next episode, but the episode after that is a serious topic. Is the last serious topic episode of season 2, and I have a really, really good idea for it. So yeah, I'm glad to hear you think that. And then I am also hyped for season 3. I think season 3 is going to be great. I have a ton of different game shows planned. The sequel to the Dead Silence game show will be in season 3. We have a really interesting episode for the first episode of season 3. John already knows what it is. So I think season 3 is going to be a banger. I think it's going to be great. So, but John, what do you got to say to this person in their email?
I'd say, thanks for, listening, of course. Obviously, it's great to hear back from you guys. Whenever I listen to an email, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's like, not putting a face to the name, because obviously we don't know what you look like or who you really are. But just like to have like a voice to be like, hey, someone is listening. We are having people listen to us. And it's not just like, an arbitrary thing.
Mm.
And the Forgiveness Project was a really good episode. I really liked that one. Probably one of my favorites of the serious topics. So that's an amazing choice.
Yep. And I don't know when it would happen exactly, but we will be doing we're going to make this a tradition, is in season 2, I forgot exactly what episode it was. It was one that came later, I think. It was like in the 20s, maybe. We had a tier list for the podcast in season 1, so we ranked all the episodes, and I made it like a deluxe edition, a deluxe episode of the podcast, because it was 2 hours compared to the 1 hour. But that's just because there's so much to talk about. You can't really like speed run that because there's so much to talk about with each individual episode. And I think that's going to be even more true when we do that again in season 3, when we rank the season 2 episodes, because season 2 was so much better quality. Obviously, not just with the serious topic episodes, but with the overall quality being a lot better. There's going to be even more to talk about. So I'm excited for that, because I can't wait to like actually go back and rank the episodes, and that way you guys will be able to see what episodes me and John personally like. Now, obviously, we might disagree maybe a little bit. It won't be too much, my guess would be. But generally with the tier list, we'll come to like a middle ground and we'll place it there. And if you want to see, if you don't feel like listening to all the 2-hour episode of the episode 1 or the season 1 tier list, on our Provokers Instagram account, the Provokers Podcast Official, if you scroll down a little bit past like the new episode releases and stuff, you'll see a giant tier list thing, and that shows where we ranked all the episodes. Now, keep in mind, Noah was there back then, so his opinion was in there as well. But yeah, so if you want to listen to the episode and want to hear us rank it in real time, go check out the episode. But that's also going to be happening in season 3. Again, I guess it depends on how fast I make the tier list, because I have to make the tier list because no one else is going to do it for us. So, because it's 100 episodes, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. So yeah, but that's the plan anyway. So I think season 3 is going to be pretty fabulous. So, but John, I think it's time to do something great. I think it's time to do a topic that's been on the list for quite some time now, and I just haven't really been able to get the ball rolling. And I think now is a good time as ever to get the ball rolling. So, John, with the very little information you even have, I want to hear your theory. What do you think? Some might call it a podcast theory. I want to hear what do you think this episode is? Because obviously the viewers know. You're literally the only one left that does not know, because they can read the title, so they know what it is. But you're the only one that's not in the loop. So what do you think it is?
Well, see, it's got to be something interesting and cool, because we got a pretty high up on the list. We got a poetry one. I don't think it's that one. Based on how you it's like, we're really excited to talk about poetry. I don't think it can be like that. So really, my podcast theory would be the mascot, I think, because we haven't made one of those yet, and I think it could be kind of interesting.
Interesting. But the mascot is a really good idea. and we will definitely be doing it at some point. Because I don't even know, like, that's another one where I want to do it. Maybe that should be one of the first episodes of season 3. If we make a mascot and we have it all for the rest of the time, and make it good. Now, obviously, we already have some plan for the first episode of season 3, but it could be one of the first couple episodes. So that might be an idea to put in the back of our minds. But no, John, it's on the same kind of cusp of it. But what we're doing today is we are literally going to write a musical about our podcast. So obviously the musical will be called The Provokers, the Musical. And that's why I asked you to get a pen and paper, because we're going to actually write down our ideas, write down the verses, write down what we want in there, and that kind of stuff. And then what's going to happen after this episode is, because I mentioned cryptically on Instagram and maybe even one of the previous episodes that because what happened with Noah, the original Meet the Provokers was going to be a trilogy of songs. And because Noah's not here, for obvious reasons, it was only me and John's song that I could do now, because I'm not going to finish Noah's song with everything that happened, right? And I mentioned cryptically that it's still going to be a trio of songs. So what's going to happen after this episode is I'm going to look at all of our notes. John might have to send me a picture of his. I mean, I can also hear what he's thinking. He's going to say stuff out loud, but I might also ask for him to send me a photo. And I'd kind of combined our ideas, and I'd actually write and produce a song, and obviously I would have to get a singer for it, and get someone to sing the Provokers podcast, the musical. So that's what we are doing today. I'm really excited for it. This episode idea has been on the list for quite some time. Like, John, if you scroll up, I think, where is it exactly? It's about, how many is this? Like 30 episodes up from the bottom? Maybe not 30. Maybe 25-ish or so. Somewhere around there. I don't feel like counting it. But it's pretty high up there. And obviously I don't add new ideas every day. So this has been on here, I want to say, since... Because one of the thing above it is the trivia game, which I'm pretty sure that's been on there all of season 2. So I almost want to say maybe the Provokers the Musical was almost founded near season 2, and that's like 80 episodes ago. So it's been on the list for quite some time. Not as long as some other ones on here, but it's been on there for quite some time, and I want to get the ball rolling. That way I can produce the beat, make the lyrics and stuff. Obviously, that's what me and John are doing today. I want to preface that. We're not making the beat today. I'm going to do that on my own because, my goodness, we can make it. I could make a 10-hour-long podcast episode of just trying to make the beat, because there's so much that goes into that. But with lyrics, it obviously will take a while, and that's why we're doing it in the episode. And I might tweak and stuff and add stuff later. Not on the specific episode. But to me, it's more doable than trying to do the beats and then trying to do everything else while we're doing that. So, without further ado, John, I think we should get started. So obviously, the way songs work is you have verses, you have a chorus, typically you have a bridge at the near the end, and then usually you finish off on one final chorus. The way I've seen musicals work, and John actually said this, I don't remember if this was an episode or not, but he said he wondered if musical was actually even a genre of music. Oh yeah, it was when we were talking about Spotify Wrapped. He wondered if musical was even a genre of music, and I found out that it technically wasn't a while ago, like I think 20 years ago. It wasn't technically defined as a it was almost like a subgenre, but eventually over the years, it became an actual genre. And the way that I found out that it's kind of different is musicals will have like an intro, then the chorus, and then it'll go into verses. So it actually has an intro before it goes into the main chorus. And then after that main chorus starts, that's when you do verse, chorus type of thing. And typically musicals will have what's called a break. And a break is almost like a bridge, but it's shorter, usually. That's basically what I found out. So that's kind of what we need to keep in mind when we're thinking about the lyrics here. And one thing, when I first wrote this down, there was one thing that I know we have to put in here. And it's the whole John getting stabbed by his brother. It wouldn't be the Provokers podcast musical without adding probably the highest of high memes on this podcast. Because
that's the meme that's been the most called back to and joked about. Like if you might not get a full scope of how much we joke about that just by listening to the podcast, but like we joke about it all the time.
Yeah. We actually just joked about it before we even started this exact episode. So.
Yes.
So I don't know where I want to put it. I should probably put it, maybe in the intro, maybe. Because the intro is almost, another thing I forgot to mention about the intro. The intro is almost two verses combined into one.
Right.
And because the way we do it is we'd be talking about me and John would be talking like singing it, not really, but we'd be singing what they would be saying. So what I would say is like, "Oh, I'm the game show guy" or something like that. I don't know if that'd be a thing. So that's obviously referring to me, right? And then let's say one of the lyrics is "I'm the bald one." That'd be talking about John, right? Or that'd be John speaking in that instance. So what we could do for the intro is we have two verses. One verse for me, one verse where I'm talking, one verse where you're talking. That's probably the best way to approach the intro part of it. So what I did, John, is I just put intro on my piece of paper, put a line under it, and then I'm going to start writing under that. So that's what I'm going to do. So obviously, on the back of my paper, because on my front is where I'm going to have the lyrics. On the back, I'm going to put down the ideas of what we want in the song. So I'm going to put just John getting stabbed. That needs to go in there. John getting stabbed. Obviously, the other meme that's kind of called back to often, which didn't actually technically stem from the podcast, but it got integrated, is John being bald. So, John bald. I'm not going to write all of it out. And then one thing for me is the game shows, right? If there's one thing that's quirky about me on the podcast specifically, is that I'm a huge game show fanatic. So I'll just put Ethan game show. That way I know that, because I don't know what the lyric would be just quite yet. And then the way
we should.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I feel like we should include we talk about things you probably should too, because it's like that is the goal of the podcast. So that's why we're here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I would say
I feel like that's included somewhere.
Yeah, I would say. What would I write for that? I mean, just like I'm just gonna put tagline, because that's what our tagline is. If someone were to come up and ask, like, "Oh, what's your tagline for your podcast?" I'd say, "We hope we provoked a conversation, made you laugh along the way," or like that kind of they kind of go hand in hand, really. So tagline, and then the way I want to end the song itself is I want the music to kind of either start to fade or cut entirely, and I want John just to blurt out, "This is bullshit," the movie, and then the song just ends, right? So I'm gonna put that.
Additionally, it could be "This is bullshit," the musical. You know, it's a spin-off.
Yeah, we could. I just worry that it kind of removes the original joke, which is "This is bullshit," the movie. But the way the joke works is it can be built on, because you've said "This is bullshit" the podcast before. You've said "This is bullshit" the video game or something. So it is a joke that can be easily built off of. So we could do that. So I'm just gonna put bullshit. Which, it is bullshit. So I'm just gonna put bullshit. I'm gonna put specifically put end near it, so I know that I want that's how I know I want the song to end. So we got John getting stabbed, John bald, Ethan game show, tagline, and then bullshit. Great list so far. What else?
Amazing.
What else do we want in here? Let's see. Because obviously I want to write off all of our ideas first, and then once we have the ideas, it's going to be much easier to try and craft lyrics. I mean, obviously we're a comedy podcast, so we got to talk about, like, the comedy aspect of it. So maybe I'll just put comedy.
Right.
Comedy-centric or something. Let's see. What else do I want in here? Obviously, you're free to write off some of your ideas as well if you have any.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm thinking of, like, debates that we have. Yeah. I don't know how we could include that in a creative and interesting way.
Well, another thing I thought about is, I don't know how to include it just yet, but it's an idea we can write down, is another idea of the podcast is we're trying to provoke a conversation whether the topic matters or not. That's another kind of thing. Like if someone, I've been asked, like, "Oh, what's your podcast about?" And I constantly tell people, I'm like, oh, well, so we have a different topic every day, and, or not every day, sorry, every week is what I usually say. So we have a new topic every week, and the host is the one that got to choose a topic, and then every 10 episodes we have a serious topic. And we talk about actual serious stuff, like I mentioned mental health, of course, I mentioned, like, forgiveness and hope and stuff like that. And I always tell them, our goal with the podcast is to provoke a conversation, whether this topic is serious or whether it's not. Whether it matters or it doesn't, you know? So, because that's not necessarily our tagline. It kind of fits into it, but I almost think that should be a different part of it. So I don't know what to write that as. Maybe like topic. I'm going crazy. I spelled topic wrong. I've become the Joker. Topic matter. I don't know if I know what that means. If I look at that later. Topic matters.
Because there's definitely a range of topics we have, right? We have the absolutely nonsensical, ridiculous ones like Smash or Pass, the Smash characters. Absolutely ridiculous. That is 100% just for goofs and laughs.
Yeah.
And then we have the serious ones, obviously, that have 10 episodes. But then we have ones that are like in the middle of those, like the Toast to the End of the World. It's not a serious episode, but it's not a goofs and laughs episode either.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing is there's that's what I love about season 2 is we've had so many variety of seriousness, and I think that's what the podcast truly needs. Because when the podcast first started, and again I call it the dark days of the podcast, they weren't the glory days, that's for sure. But the dark ages of the podcast is obviously I mentioned that Noah was not present very much at all. But besides that, the topics were kind of you know. I look back and I pulled this up because I wanted to. John, you might want to do this just in case too. Is pull up Spotify or something that we can scroll through all the different episodes because that would also help with writing lyrics if we want to tie it to a certain thing. But when I look back at season 1 episodes, especially some of the ones below like 50, like you're looking at, I mean, Family Bonds is good. I think that's after 50 though. Or no, it's not. Maybe it is. No, it's over 50. But we did like Hills 4 times. Like I think that was overdone. Parenting advice from people who aren't parents. I mean, that's not an awful episode. Toast to the End of the World is like one of the only good ones, or like one of the only great ones I would say below 50. Our Gun's the Problem. I wish I thought of something different for that. Obviously the tier lists are fine. I don't have a problem with any of the tier lists because there's some tier lists below 50, but What If was such a flop of an episode. I'm sorry. It was a good concept. Like What If is always a good concept, but we didn't do it right, I don't think, because I re-listened to that recently and I was like, why did we do this? Living Large, I would not have picked that one. I mean, that's Noah picked that one, so whatever. Name That Game, I guess, started back then, but it's just one of those things that season 2, you look at season 1's topics, and you're like, okay, these aren't too bad. And you look at season 2's topic, and you're like, oh my goodness, we have come so far. I can't think of a single season 2 episode that if we were to spoiler alert for the ranking episode in season 3, I don't think I'd put really much in D tier, if anything. Like, we've done some really good topics for season 2 here. And they all have a degree of seriousness. You have, obviously the serious topics are like the highest of highs there. But then you have the Dawn of the Final Day. That's the part 2 actually to the Toast of the End of the World, where it's very serious in the sense, but it's not a serious topic episode. And then you have Hollywood Hearts, which is a celebrity crush episode. Or was that the Kiss, Marry, Kill one? I think that might have been the Kiss, Marry, Kill one. Which, either way, it's completely nonsensical. It doesn't matter in the slightest. Oh, sorry. Crushing on the Stars is the one where we talked about celebrities we had a previous crush on, or maybe even present. The Hollywood Hearts one is where it was a Kiss, Marry, Kill with those said celebrities. Obviously, it doesn't matter in the slightest. It's not serious whatsoever. If it wasn't an episode, we wouldn't notice, right? It's just one of those things that it's really whack-tacky. And I think that's what this podcast is all about, is the whack-tackiness, the degrees of seriousness that we do, but making sure to stick to every 10th episode thing. So, yeah, it's one of those really important things to keep in mind if we're going to write a musical about the podcast as a whole, because we're not writing it about just season 2. Because we want this musical to kind of span over the history of the podcast. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant about linking certain episodes. But maybe looking at the episodes might give us some ideas. Because if we link certain episodes, like, and they listen to it in 5 years when we're on season 12, we would not be in season 12 in 5 years, but you know what I mean. When they listen to it in the near future, like, where's all these newer topics? Like, why didn't you sing about those? So the jokes will live on forever, though. That's why there's no worry there. But with the episode, linking it to specific episodes, it's a little bit different like that. So, okay. So right now, what we got on the list for ideas, we got John being stabbed, of course, John Bald, Ethan game shows, tagline, bullshit, Comedy Centric, not Comedy Central, that's something else. Topic matters/doesn't. I just kind of put that so I know what that means. So do you have any more ideas, or do you want to just dive right into the actual lyrics?
I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any, like, noteworthy things that we could add. Because we got your game shows in there. We got the degree of seriousness. I feel like we've kind of summed up a lot of what makes the podcast what the podcast is, you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just dive right into the lyrics, we can start that then. Okay, so obviously the intro comes first. I think we should do, like, the typical, maybe, like, A-A-B-B rhyming style. So, like, car... Or was the car? Car, star. Like, so it'd be car, star, then... what else rhymes? Key... Nope. Key... P. It'd be like car, star, key, P. So it'd be like A-A-B-B.
Right.
One thing that musicals do as well that I found out is they don't really, their structure kind of changes throughout the musical, so it's not always A-A-B-B or A-B-A-B. They kind of like start with one thing, then they kind of shift to another thing, then they kind of shift again. So, like, if you listen to some of the more popular musicals, some will stick to a thing, but most don't. So, while I want to start maybe with A-A-B-B, we don't have to keep it like that, because my guess is probably it'll be easier if we don't. So I think we should start the song with how we started the podcast, right? So I think we should say something like, we started, I'm not writing this down, I'm just thinking. We started with a question, because the question was, should we start one, right? So we started with a question and a plan. Plan is easy to rhyme to. Maybe, if I wanted, we started with a question and a plan. What rhymes with plan? Can. I don't know how that fit. What else rhymes with hand? What? Oh, hand. Hand would rhyme. Plan, hand, band. Band. I mean, we're not a band.
Yeah, I'm just writing down a bunch of different rhymes. I can think of whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So maybe we started with a question and a plan. So let's say if I go off a can wouldn't really make sense. Band, I guess could?
I'm thinking grand.
Grand, that's one. That's true. Hang on,
But
wait.
We started with the plan, now it's grand.
Well, I feel like... Oh, so you're limping that all into one verse then. Or all into one line then.
Well, that's just like the idea that I'm thinking of anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking we started with a question and a plan is one line. And then I would rhyme it. The next line would start with whatever that next one would be. I almost thought of... We started with a question and a plan. Two voices with a mic in hand is kind of where I was going with that. Obviously, theoretically speaking, we're not actually holding the mic necessarily, but you get what it's supposed to mean. So, we started with a question and a plan. Two loud voices. Yeah, let's do that. Two loud voices and a mic in hand. Because it actually adds an extra word in there, so it's more similar to the first line.
Right, there's more substance there.
I'm cooking. Hang on, we're cooking. Jesse, let us cook. So we started with a question and a plan. Two loud voices and a mic in hand. That's pretty good. Started with a question and a plan. Two loud voices and a mic in hand. Yeah, those are almost exactly the same exactly the same like length, so that's pretty good. We started with a question to plan. Before it was dull and now it's grand. That could be something too, right? You popping any ideas over there?
Because that kind of goes into how we began with like kind of not terrible episodes, but obviously dull in comparison.
Yeah. I think we should go with the first line for sure. We started with a question and a plan. I think that, because that's exactly how the podcast started. Obviously the third guy was involved in that, but we started with the question being, should we start one? How are we going to do this? Like, it started with many questions, really, but, like, the listener would get what that means. And then, a plan, I almost want to say, like, not a lousy plan. What would be a good part to add there, maybe? We started with a question, and I don't want to say bad plan, because it wasn't bad.
Maybe shaky plan?
Shaky. There's a word for that, though, isn't there? For, like, something that's not bad, but it's not good. It's, like, in the middle. Hang on.
Mediocre.
Mediocre. Hang on, I have an idea. Hey, Siri. What's a term for when something's not good, but not bad either? It's in the middle. And no, I'm not counting this as using AI. She was here long before ChatGPT. Half-baked. That's an idea. We started with a question and a half-baked plan. That kind of works. I mean, half-baked would be accurate. Because we had a plan, but it wasn't awesome. It wasn't horrible. It was just it was half-baked. He pulled the pie out too quickly.
Right, because it was originally just like, the initial thought was almost like a distractible ripoff, and we were like, maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make it.
So maybe we should. Do you want to do that? We started with a question and a half-baked plan. Before it was dull, and now it's turned grand. Because we would need to add a new word now because we have half-baked in there. So before it was dull, right, and now it's turned grand. That's an idea for sure. Here, let's come back to that one. I'm just going to put a line so that we know we're skipping it. Because I want to keep the train rolling here. That's the way you make songs. Is you can't focus on one specific line. You got to keep going. So next we should talk about, so what's on my list? John getting stabbed. Let's leave that for when John's talking. Because maybe, we didn't even think about that. Should we make the first section of the intro be me talking? So we started with a question and a half-baked plan, which would make sense for me saying it because I was the one that started the whole RSS thing. So I would, and we talked about that in the Provokers Behind the Scenes episode, actually. And then maybe the next thing we write about is the next section, the next verse in the intro would be you speaking. So let's see. The next one would be, we started with a question and half-baked plan. Let's, for the sake of the argument, say it was dull and now it's grand, or something like that. Next, should we say, like, talking about stuff tiny and absurd? Because the tiny refers to the fact that it doesn't matter. And the absurd talks about that it's absurd. It's absurd, I think, kind of speaks for itself. And then later we can say something about that, if it matters or if it doesn't.
Right.
You started with a question and a half-baked plan. Before it was dull and now it's grand. Talking about the big stuff, tiny or absurd, I guess. Tiny and absurd. I guess tiny and absurd. Hang on, am I cooking? Wait. I have the meth. Wait, hang on. I can't say that. Are you coming up with anything over there?
I'm trying to think of rhymes for absurd.
Oh, yeah. Absurd. I mean, there's a lot of half rhymes. You don't have to be exact. A lot of songs do half rhymes now. Absurd. Birds.
All absurd that I got murdered.
No, we'll save that for like the choruses. Actually, wait. Should that be in the chorus? No, I don't know if I want to put that in the chorus. I almost think we should say the you getting stabbed part for when you're speaking in the intro. Like saying, oh yeah, I got stabbed this one time. Absurd, bird, curd, cheese curd. I don't know. Word. Word, I guess, is a half rhyme, right? So word. What was the other ones I just said? besides curd, because that's not gonna work. What did I just say? Well, I have the attention span of a goldfish. Word. Oh, bird was one. Bird. I mean, I don't know how you'd end something with bird. Maybe. I mean, a word could work, but what would we say there? We talk about. So we talk about the big stuff, tiny and absurd. Something, something. Because it has to end with word. Or words, I guess. Words could work too, but there's an S there. I mean, we could link some of the general episodes. So we talk about kind of, with the serious topics, we talk about kind of like hope. I guess the majority would be mental health, I guess, because it's all kind of like a mental thing. Maybe we could say something like 1 minute it's tricky. This is a tricky one.
Yeah, I was gonna say absurd is a hard one to rhyme with.
Hang on.
That keeps going for it.
Hang on, am I cooking again? Wait. 1 minute it's world peace. Next it's wordle words. I don't know if I like that one.
I'm saying like another word that rhymes is stirred. So like I'm thinking like the conversation has stirred, or something along those lines.
Talking about the big stuff, tiny and absurd. We always make sure to keep the conversation stirred.
That's
an idea. My brain keeps latching on to, so I'm gonna write that down as an idea. I'm putting a star next to something that we could change, but it's just an idea. The one I didn't put a star next to is we started with a question and a half-baked plan. I think that's I think it's the best line we can come up with for the start of the Provokers, the musical. Okay, so let's move on. So now, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 lines for the first verse is fine. So let's move on to where you're talking now. And this is where I think we should talk about, like, I think this is where we should include our gimmicks. So the gimmick for you is getting stabbed, of course, because, as you do. And then my gimmick is game shows, right? So you should say, in your section, maybe say, what's an easy to rhyme word? Game show's not an easy... Well, show's not that easy. There's a couple words that I can think of, but they're not that great for this. He's the game show guy spinning wheels, spinning every wheel, spinning all the wheels. Because wheels not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
He's the game show... Maybe we keep it singular. He's the game show guy spinning every wheel, because you want to need every wheels. That just sounds weird. So he's the game show guy spinning every wheel. And then you should say, and that's where you come in with your gimmick and say, like, well, I guess which one should we do? You kind of have two gimmicks of being, being bald and then, being totally bald anyway, and then being stabbed. I'm the bald one. That's just all you say.
It's like, he has the game shows, I'm the bald one.
No, because we need more than that.
That's all there is to it.
So, wheel. What rhymes with wheel? Wheel, steel. That wouldn't make sense. Wheel, peel. Would it make sense? Wheel, steel. I don't know if I could work something with that. Maybe you could, but I can't. Real, like real life. That could work, but I don't know what I'd say there then. I'm the bald one. It's totally real? Like, I don't know. Like, that doesn't really flow to me. I feel like we should definitely go with I'm the bald one, but we need more after that. I'm the bald one. And it needs to rhyme with the wheel. What other, do you got any other things that rhymes with the wheel? That makes sense?
The ones that I've written down, just whatever pops in my head, is steel, meal, feel, real, kneel,
Neil.
feel, and teal.
Feel.
I don't know if any of those fit, but...
Yeah. I'm the bald one. Maybe we kind of lump it in. I'm the bald one dreaming. Maybe, hang on. I'm the bald one dreaming something real. Oh, no, I mean, it's not real, so obviously that doesn't work. I'm the bald one, hang on. I'm the bald one dreaming. Ideas
so unreal?
That could, yeah. I was thinking maybe I'm the bald one dreaming what's fake feels real. Because obviously it's fake, and you didn't actually get stabbed. But like you said, in your childhood, you were scarred for life, so you kind of felt the pressure of it.
Yeah, how much I elaborated in the actual episode, but I remember when I woke up, I was like, this is so insane. I can't tell anybody about this.
You're right,
And
yeah.
then, like, obviously, it's silly now that I'm like older and look back on it, like, that's such a ridiculous dream. It
Yeah.
doesn't really make any sense. Like, why would my brother murder me?
Right, yeah.
Uh, it's just so it's kind of funny now, but at the time, I was like, this is too real.
Yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna write down I'm the bald one dreaming what's fake feels real. I feel like that to me as someone who was writing lyrics before, I think that's
Mhm.
the best out of the two. Not I'm not discounting your idea, obviously. I'm just saying that one fits a bit more for me, and I can more easily make the beat to that. Because I gotta remember, I'm trying to make this easy for myself. Well, not easy for myself. I'm trying to make it better for myself when I actually am trying to make the beat for this. Because
Right.
if we have one thing longer than the other one, it's gonna make it kind of weird. So let me write that down. So okay, we got he's the game show guy spinning every wheel. I'm the bald one dreaming what's fake feels real. And then we obviously gotta say what that means. So we should say my brother stabbed me or something.
My brother
Um,
stabbed me.
my brother stabbed me once, at least in my head. Hang on. Wait, I'm cooking. I'm cooking again. My brother stabbed me once, at least in my head. Head is super easy to rhyme to. What rhymes with head? Basically everything. Head.
I realized it was fake when I woke in my bed.
Ooh. Yeah, bed. Bed's a good idea. Bed's a good idea. Um. So yeah, my brother stabbed me once, at least in my head. I'll write that down. I think I think that's pretty good. And then what did you say? So, uh,
I knew it was fake when I awoke in my bed. That's what I
new.
said.
Okay, so I got yeah, my brother stabbed me once, at least in my head. I knew it was fake when I woke in my bed. That's pretty close to like being the same length. So it could go with that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that works there. I mean, bed I think is the 100% choice of the last word there. Like head, bed, 100% rhymes. So head, bed. I was also wondering before you said your piece. I was also wondering. So now we're chasing dreams instead of going to bed. I mean, we do go to bed, obviously, but that's obviously not what it's
No,
saying.
we never sleep.
We,
We just we become immortal.
we become
No
immortal.
longer have the need for this.
Because also the chasing dreams thing goes back to the whole bed thing. Because when you're in bed, you dream sometimes. So I mean, that's
Right.
I'll put a star next to that one. I think yours is better, but let me just put a star next to that one just in case. Maybe I'm when I'm making the beat, I find out that that's somehow easier to work with. Okay,
Mhm.
now I think now it's chorus time. We need to actually do a chorus, and I think the chorus should be the main focus here. So how do I spell chorus? I always
Right.
spell chorus wrong. I'm a filthy human. I don't know how to spell it right. There we go.
Okay.
I always spell it CHROUS or something. I always spell it wrong, and I'm like, wait, that's correct, isn't it? And it's never correct, obviously. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to think of a beat personally right now because that also helps when making lyrics. So I think the chorus should start with "We're the Provokers." I think it just or maybe like "Oh, we're the Provokers" because I think that makes more musical sense. So "Oh, we're the Provokers." I think it just you can disagree if you want, John. Let me know if you do. But I think the chorus should start with "Oh, we're the Provokers." Like that's to me that makes the most sense. John's died.
See. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I did say that.
He
But yeah,
hated my idea
that
so
works.
much that he died.
Like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave now. I think end the podcast. I can't continue under these conditions.
so, so do you like that or no? I mean, to me it makes sense. But
that one is good. I agree.
oh, we're the Provokers. Ooh, that's a good beat. I like that beat I just made. Oh, we're the Provokers. What's a good thing? So this one with the chorus, I don't think we need to do. I think we can abandon the AABB thing because I think to me it's just gonna be easier. Oh, we're the Provokers. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, I like that beat, but I need to add words to it. Oh, we're the Provokers. Dun 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 dun. Hang on, I need to get a keyboard. not a mechanical keyboard like a piano keyboard. I need to pull this up because I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't actually hear it. You guys won't hear this because it's on my second audio system, and I don't feel like changing that right now. Because I know Windows 11 is going to be like, how dare you even have a second audio system? How dare you even attempt to change anything with Windows 11? You should just, we're going to blow up your computer now. You just don't have access to anything. It's all gone.
Yes.
Oh, we're the
I don't know if this fits the we're going for it, but it's just what popped to mind, so I'll say it. I thought of spinning tales and telling jokes because like some of our episodes are just telling stories, where others are, telling jokes. Like the joke quest, I think it's called.
Yeah. Wait, say that line again.
Spinning tales and telling jokes.
Oh, we're the provokers, spinning tales and telling jokes. I mean, it could work, but you need to extend the telling line there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're the provokers. Dun, 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 dun. So this line needs to be a little bit longer than the we're the provokers one. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it's just, for me, it just makes, not repeating myself, but repeating the beat, because I need to, for me, it's easier to write lyrics that way. Oh, we're the provokers. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we're the provokers. Poking at the silence. Because poking at the silence is like, that's our going back to our motto, we hope we provoke a conversation. Because our tag, it's not our tagline, but in the description of the podcast, it says that we're trying to rekindle the idea that, hey, people don't talk anymore. They just disagree with each other and walk away. They don't talk anymore. Oh, we're the... So it can't just be that. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. Hang on. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. Ooh, that fits. That does fit.
That one fits, yeah. I was going to say, like, an additional thought I had when you were saying poking at the silence was breaking up the silence. And right. I think what you said is kind of includes both of that.
Yeah,
even though you didn't read my mind and that's what I was thinking.
No, I mean I think that works. I think because even so that I think we should go with that then, because if you were thinking kind of along the same idea, then we should definitely go with it. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. Oh, that so works. That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
We're cooking?
We're cooking.
This is going to be the best song ever.
Dude, I'm really excited for this. I think if I am able to master this beat, it's going to take a while. Because John's song, I'll be completely up in front and honest, John's song took longer than mine did. Because John's song I wanted, because the way mine song was developed, and I might... One of the extended cuts I might make is a sort of behind the scenes on the production of Meet the Provokers, the trilogy of songs. Obviously it can't happen yet because this one's not even done yet. But a little insight to this is my song, the way I made the lyrics for both technically, but the way I made my song's lyrics is I asked people, what do you think is my best quality? Now obviously Meet the Provokers was initially a secret project, so John wasn't one of the people I asked. So when you're listening to my song and it said he's so funny and charming, you don't have to believe me, I guess, but I did not write that, technically. I did write the lyric, but that's only because those are the things people gave me. But with John's song, it was full steam. I was the only one that had any input on that, right? And I just used my, 7 years of friendship with John to write those lyrics. But with the beat specifically, it took me I want to say 3 weeks to come up with the perfect beat, because I came up with the beat technically on week 1, but I was like, this sucks booty cheeks just like John's machine, and so let me change it. And then I kind of tweaked it, and then I finally landed on what it is now, and I'm like, oh, it's Next Up John is one of my favorite songs in my Spotify playlist. I'm not even saying that just to be like, oh, I made it, so, because obviously I made the beat and the lyrics, but I didn't sing it, obviously. So I think the singer that I got, I think that the beat that was made, and I think the lyrics that were crafted, I think is a perfect symphony for that song. And I want to make it better than John's song. That's the kind of expectation I'm holding for myself. So I think we're cooking. I think that's what's happening here, though. So going back to the actual musical. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. You said something about what was their joking thing you said earlier?
Spinning tales and telling jokes.
Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. I want to add the joking thing in there, because you're right. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers. Well, that's not going to end like that, but that's maybe the first part. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers. Not awful. We're the hang on, let me maybe change that a little bit. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers. I don't hate it. Because that incorporates John's joking thing. And didn't your line also say, wasn't your also line about thinking, like a discussion too? What was your line again? Again, I was 10 minutes ago.
It was spinning tails and telling jokes.
I mean, you got to think to spin tails, you know.
Yeah.
What do you think of that one, John? We're jokers and thinkers.
I feel like it's decent. I don't know how to feel about it. It feels a little wonky. I don't know how to describe it.
I mean,
better than what I came up with.
Well, what did you come up with?
Well, the previous line, the spinning tails and telling jokes. I think that one yours fits better. It's just I don't know. Like,
well, so here's what I think.
The thinkers view probably odd.
I wasn't going to mention this just yet, but I think the way we end the chorus is we're still talking about it. And so because that line's short, we got to have some other shorter lines in the chorus to make it actually fit together like a puzzle.
Right.
And so I think this is one of the ones we got to shorten a little bit. So I'm trying to think of it musically too. So, oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's how I want the beat to be, but I'm trying to think. Oh, we're the provokers, pushing. I say pushing. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, hang on. I'm cooking the beat. Hang on, John. Wait. Let me add this. Again, you guys can't hear what I'm hearing, so I'm sorry. Ooh, that's the wrong instrument, but I think that could work. I just gotta figure out the lines, though. What do you think okay. Since we can't come up with anything different right now, let's just we're jokers and thinkers. I put a star next to it, so we know we can change it if I need to. So, oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers. Dun 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 dun. That should be the next beat line. But what would go with that? Dun 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 dun. Also, I've made that not accurate to what I'm saying. This needs to be lower. Yeah, okay. That's better. I mean, it's not probably exact, but I'll fuss with that later. If anyone's curious, I'm using FL Studio, by the way, in case you want to know what I'm using. So we're jokers and thinkers. Finding meaning. I mean, obviously that's more than that, but finding meaning, because that's what our goal is, to find the meaning of things, right? Like with the forgiveness, I'm not going to mention it, but the forgiveness project, finding meaning in forgiveness, finding meaning in hope. It's like it's all kind of connected to all those serious topic episodes. Unless we want to go super meta with it and say finding meaning in our mistakes, because that actually one of your ideas was tying back to how we sucked in season 1, and so that would incorporate your idea with that. But that's it's more meta. I mean, that's the whole song's meta, I guess, but you know what I mean. So what would that full line be? We're jokers and thinkers, finding meaning in our mistakes.
Does that fit in with the beat you developed?
Yeah, well, I was waiting to see if you wanted to weigh in on that, because it to me it includes your idea before, where you said it talks about how we sucked in season 1, and we became better because of it. So we found meaning in our mistakes and we became better.
As you were just like developing that, I wrote finding meaning in a variety of topics, and then crossed out that because I'm like, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I kind of held off this, I had off this episode for a couple of different reasons. One of the only other reasons was John was in band and chorus and stuff, but I don't think he's actively doing anything with that right now. At least you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if you're doing that just yet. And he also didn't technically help with the 2 songs that I made because they were secret at first, and so I wasn't going to ask him to help with that. And I'm not saying I'm better than John whatsoever. I'm just saying I have a bit more experience with the actual beat creation. John could be freaking the piano man in his spare time, and I will never know. But I'm just saying off of my knowledge. That's why I was a little bit worried, because I didn't want to overlap John's potential ideas with my ideas, because my ideas maybe fit more with the beat, but maybe John's ideas fit more with the actual meaning of what we're trying to say, type of thing. But That's why I keep trying to come back to what you've said before, which is why finding meaning in our mistakes, it points back to how I think it was actually in the intro you wanted it, is talking about how we sucked in season 1 and how we kind of became better after that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me.
Yeah, I like that.
Let me see if it fits. Oh, we're the provokers. I keep saying find. I keep changing the word finding. I just about to say finding, pushing. I said earlier. What's happening to me? Let me try this again. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers, finding meaning in our mistakes. It does fit.
It does feel good, yeah.
Okay, let me put that there. I'll put a tiny star because I think it could. There's only a tiny chance I change that one. Because it does fit, and like I said, it goes back to John's idea of saying that we sucked in season 1, which is accurate, 100%. So, we're not afraid to admit that we sucked ass, just like John's Machine. Basically, the epitome of John's Machine was in all season 1.
Yes. Have we actually fully discussed that My Machine Sucks Ass on the podcast?
Yes, there's an episode where, I mean, if they don't listen to every episode, they wouldn't know it, I guess. But the one of the episodes, I couldn't tell you which one, you said, you mentioned that it was from Deltarune, and then that it was the joke from Chapter 1 that your machine sucked ass. And then I mentioned that you had to make a duck in order for that to happen, and I said I didn't expect you to actually make the duck, so...
Right.
Okay. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers, finding meaning in our mistakes. Dun 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 dun. Me likey that. So these next lines should be short then. If it's dun 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 dun, that's one line. Dun 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 dun. It repeats the same thing, but it's gonna be different. The first thing that comes to mind for me, John, I don't know if you agree, is talking about the degrees of seriousness. So, finding meaning in our mistakes. From the blank to the blank, from the blank to the blank, like that thing.
Right.
My first thought is from the heavy to the dumb. Because, you know...
Well, some of our topics have been dumb, so
well,
I feel
exactly.
like that's valid.
From the heavy to the dumb. I mean, hang on, that does fit, doesn't it? Finding meaning in our mistakes. From the heavy to the dumb. Dun, 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 dun. It does fit. Because the reason it came to mind is because heavy obviously refers to pretty much every serious topic. I mean, there's some really heavy ones. In fact, the one that's coming soon, in episode 90, that one's going to be, I think personally, the most serious one we've ever done. So it talks specifically to that. And then the dumb, you could rattle off a bunch of different episodes that are stupid. Like a lot of them are, obviously. Like they're stupid, but we make them fun, we make them engaging, and we try to make them entertaining for you guys. So, John, what do you think? I think that works personally, but I want to make sure.
I think that works. Yeah.
Okay, so we need another one though. So from the heart. Ooh, the heart. Wait, I'm accidentally cooking. I was trying to say heavy. My brain's like, no. You're working on the next line now. From the heart...
It's over.
It's over. From the heart to the what? Heart refers back to the series, so actually it's in line with that. From the heart to the... From the heart to the dance floor.
It's like, that would make music.
No, that's a reference to something that you might not get. But from the heart to the
thinking, what? At first I was like thinking laughs, but I don't know if that fits, you know? But like that sort of idea.
Yeah, you're on the right track, I think. From the heart to the... Because we have the important topics covered. From the heavy to the... Sorry, that's the other one. From the heavy to the dumb, from the heart to the skit. There's a couple of episodes that are based on skits. Or that we're actively doing a skit. Like, think of Roleplay Rumble. Like, that's my best example I can give. Is that's completely... that whole thing is a skit. Because if you didn't see that episode, it was... I spun a wheel that had different, like, personalities on it, basically. Or different, like, voice acting roles, I guess. And, Noah was there at the time. And so, like, I spun the wheel. John got, like, I think it was, like, a cowboy something. And then Noah got... I don't remember what he got. And then I got, like, a sarcastic AI assistant or something. And so the whole thing was, like, a skit, right? And then I could think of a couple more, like... I mean, some of the more intense game shows are kind of skit... What would the word be? Skittish? That's not the right word. But Where, like, think of the zombie apocalypse one. That's like a skit. So that could work, unless you had something better.
I can't think of anything that would really fit.
From the heavy to the dumb, from the hard to the skit. I mean, it fits. But let me put a star next to that one. I'm not unless I don't come up with something better, we can go with it. But I don't love it as much as the first one. I'll say that. From the heavy to the dumb is a really good line. But I like the from the heart because that kind of has a double meaning because it's talking about. Obviously, we're touching people's hearts because we're talking about losing hope. We're talking about losing family. We're talking about forgiveness. We're talking about being betrayed. We're talking about all these different things that's trying to, like, reach into people's hearts to get them to, like, open up about it and stuff like that. But it's also talking about how how me and John put a lot of heart into the podcast itself. So I really like that. So I'm not changing heart, I don't think. But I'm not, if I find a better word, I might change that. If I don't, then... Right. If you're listening to the song right now in the future and you're like, well, he didn't change it. He must not have found something better. So, okay, then I think... Hang on. So what's the next beat be? Let me just start the entire thing over. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers, finding meaning in our mistakes. From the heavy to the dumb, from the hard to the skit. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I like that. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It could be that or dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. No, I don't want to do a third of that. Because that gets repetitive after a while. So, from the heavy to the dumb, from the hard to the skit. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, hang on. Jesse, you know what must be done? Wait. Okay, John, does anything come to mind when I give you that beat? From the heavy to the dumb, from the hard to the skit. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh, my initial thought was like, we're gonna make a difference.
That's good. Should we tie it back into the previous two lines, though? Like, where it's kind of talking about the degrees of the podcast, kind of? Like, I don't know what I'd say there, then. But, like, from the heavy to the dumb, from the heart to the skit. Wait, hang on, let me look at my ideas again. Have we talked about if the topic matters or not?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, we gotta have that in the chorus. That's like the number one thing. Besides, obviously, the Provokers part. So, the topic doesn't matter. The topic matters or it doesn't, right? So, from the heavy to the dumb, from the hard to the skit. Dun, 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 dun. If it matters or it doesn't, I mean, that's clear cut. Hang on. From the heavy to the dumb, from the hard to the skit, if it matters or it doesn't. So that would fit. Did you have any other ideas?
Not off the top of my head. I know I'm contributing so much.
Well, no, that's why I want to make sure you're included, because I want to feel like I'm just making the whole song myself. I want to make sure your ideas are known.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm thinking that one works for sure.
Because remember, the last line is we're still talking about it. So from the heavy to the dumb, from the heart to the skit, let's say we go with it. If it matters or it doesn't, we're still talking about it. So that would be the full line there.
I think that does lead into we're still talking about it pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know?
Because let me do yours. So what was yours? We're going to make a difference is what you said?
Yeah.
From the heavy to the dumb, from the heart to the skit, we're going to make a difference. We're still talking about it. It does. The only problem for me is that it starts with where again. So, we're going to make a difference. We're still talking about it. It kind of does. It repeats the same word there.
It feels a little repetitive.
I do like the line, and I wonder if we should put it somewhere else. But if we go with if it matters or it doesn't repeat the same word over again. I mean, I could put a star next to it. That way, I know we weren't totally sure on it.
No, I think that one works.
You want to do that?
Not anything better than that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give it. I'll X out the star. It's now a star part 2. There we go. Okay, so the full chorus is, oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers, finding meaning in our mistakes. From the heavy to the dumb, from the hard to the skit, if it matters or it doesn't. We're still talking about it. Oh, yeah. I like that a lot, actually. I still think the skit could be maybe changed to a different word, but I have to figure out what word that'd even be.
Right.
So, okay. Next, we'd move into. We obviously don't have time to make the whole song, but we got if we finish the chorus, we get like most of we get like 50% of it done because obviously the chorus will repeat. I'd say we do like one more verse, and then we will end the episode, and then I'll take it from there.
Right.
So it should be we should keep the same as the intro. So this would be my section of the verse, and then it'll be you talking again. What's the thing to say here? We provoke the world. Ooh, that came to mind. We provoke the world. What could come after that? We provoke the world. Provoke the world to change for the better. I don't know if I like that one. Well, here, while you're thinking of ideas, I'm gonna try and make a beat here. We're still talking about it. I mean, there's gonna be instrumental after the last line of the chorus, though, so that's kind of the problem. But it can go back to kind of what it was a little bit, but with a little bit extra. Dun, 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 dun. No, I don't like that one. Dun, 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 dun. No. Dun, dun, nope. I don't like that one either. I'm no longer cooking. The pot has exploded.
Hey, when that happens. When I'm cooking a nice hearty meal, and then boom, the pot's exploded. And then it's all over the kitchen.
I was hoping you'd go back to the Walter White thing and say, don't you just hate when your pot of meth is blown up and you can't use it?
Yeah, that's pretty rough too, I will say.
For legal reasons, me and John do not promote or endorse the use of drugs. Unlike the third person did.
Yeah, that was an issue.
Yeah, I mean, like...
That came up on a handful of occasions.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's... John can vouch for me. I tried to tell him many times that he just wouldn't listen. But we don't talk about the past here. That'd be stupid. The past sucks ass, just like John Machine.
Yes, the past isn't necessary to ruminate on or think about. Not important.
Dun, 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 dun. That's not bad. Dun, 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 dun. It kind of goes back a little bit to the other one, but it has a little bit more flair. Okay, that could work. Dun, 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 dun. We provoke the world by... What did I say before? I mean, I didn't really like it too much, but we provoke the world by making it better? Is that what I said? That's not what I said. We provoke the world...
changing it for the better or something?
Oh, that's it. Hang on. My brain's overloading. We provoke the world by... Wait, say it again? I'm wrapped in my face. I don't know what's going on.
Making a change for the better.
Making a change for the better, okay. We provoke the world... Wait, what was my beat? I got the words now, but I'm losing the beat. I'm doing fine. I'm in a completely optimal mental state.
Indeed.
We provoke the world by making. No, that doesn't work. My brain's like, nope, this doesn't work. You can't even say it right. Move away from it. It doesn't work. So fine, I'll move away from it. Obviously, I didn't really like the idea anyway. I was just trying to see if it fits, which it probably doesn't anyway if my brain can't even say it. So, dun 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 dun. That's a beat I've heard before, though. Am I stealing someone's beat? I mean, every song's been made before, so what does it matter?
Are you plagiarizing here on the Provokers podcast, the musical?
Are you plagiarizing on the Provokers? I was just gonna say the Provokers podcast, but you said Provokers podcast, the musical specifically. There's a line that's coming to mind, and it's a funny line for sure. It kind of goes back into it actually kind of maybe goes into the comedy centric idea that I have on the list here. Mm-hmm. And it might fit. I haven't tested it yet. They say therapy is expensive, and they're not wrong. That's what I came up with. Because it's talking about how
it's
obviously,
an statement.
Yeah, it's because it's obviously not. It's not saying that we should be your therapy. It's more so saying that we're ironing out issues via the podcast, right?
Yes.
Let me see.
We might need therapy, but this is what we got.
Well, and that too. It kind of has an old meaning again. Let me see if that even works. They say therapy is expensive, and they're not wrong. It does. Wait, hang on. Wait, my mind's cooking again. It's got my brain back. My brain left the building for a second there. It was like, you're working toward it. I'm out of here. Hang on. They say therapy is expensive, and they're not wrong. So we provoke the world by turning pain into song. Ooh, hang on a minute.
That's fire. That's fire.
Hang on a minute. This should be my career, man. I need to go and I shouldn't actually. I redact everything. I regret my words and my deeds. No, I shouldn't. It's one of those things that I mean, I can make these 3 songs, but then that's probably it. I feel like I should make
you can't spend all day doing this.
I feel like I should make for like a new season. I'm not doing it for season 3. Maybe like a new season, I make a new game show theme, because right now it's been the same theme since the game show started. It's a good theme, don't get me wrong, and I love it. But I almost wonder if I should make my own thing for it. But that's a thing for future. That's future Ethan's problem. Okay, hang on. They say therapy is expensive, and they're not wrong. So we provoke the world by turning pain to song. Ooh, me likey a lot. Me likey like I like my coffee. I will not further elaborate.
All right.
So, John, I mean, you already kind of said it a little bit, but what do you think about that?
I think that's good. I think it really flows well. It incorporates humor and just actual, like, it's a true statement.
Yeah.
It's therapy is expensive.
And I just realized too, wrong and song rhyme perfectly too. So
right.
Okay, so we'll have that be my section then. So your next section. Should we go back to the stabbing thing again?
Have we mentioned my baldness?
Yes, I'm the bald one. What was it? Where'd it go? I just had it. Oh, here it is. I'm the bald one dreaming what's fake feels real. There's a star next to it, but it has been mentioned technically speaking.
Okay. I just want to
should be the next?
Make sure we're getting the real idea of who I am.
Right. Okay, so we provoke the world by turning pain to song. Dun 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 dun. No, that's too long. Dun 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 dun. I mean, that's not. If I shorten it. Wait, and we want to go back to the dream thing. Because that's obviously the biggest meme ever. I mean, it's not 100% true, because I don't think you've had it since, obviously. But it'd be really
nightmare. Every night I close my eyes and I wake up to my brother stabbing me.
John doesn't even sleep at night. He said before he doesn't sleep, but that's why, because he just lays in his bed fearful that his brother, who doesn't live with him, by the way, will come out of nowhere, stab him in his dream. So,
Indeed.
What came to mind, this goes back to, again, the comedy-centric thing I have on the list, is some nights I wake from that dream again. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. What was the beat I went with? Hang on. I didn't actually make it in the thing yet. So we provoke the world by turning pain to song. Dun, 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 dun. Some nights I wake from that dream again. Nope, that's too long. Some nights I wake from... Now, how do I make that work? Some nights I wake from that dream again. I mean, that could work. I don't know if that's too long, though. So what rhymes here, John? Do me a favor. Let's say we go with it. I might put a star next to it anyway. Think of words that rhyme with again, because I need to figure out this beat that I'm working on here. I almost have it, but I need it to work. And then it will speed it up if you think of some words that rhyme with again. There's a lot, so I mean you don't have to write everything, but some nights I wake from that dream again. I mean that kind of is the same beat as this one. Some nights I wake from that dream again. I guess we could. Some nights I wake from that dream again. I mean that's not as bad as the other two. Some nights I wake from that dream again. No, there's definitely can't be that much space. Dun, 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 dun. Some nights I wake from... Okay, so it's dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little different. It's not exactly the same. Also, if you guys hear me tapping my pen. That's what that is. If you've been hearing that throughout the entire episode, I'm sorry. Just I gotta tap something in order to make the beat for myself. Because if I just use my head, that's not a good idea. So whenever you see someone making beats, it's usually they're tapping a drumstick or something. I don't have that, so I'm using a pen. Did you? So what words do you have for again, like the rhyme?
Yeah, right now I've been down in, tan, land, bland, stand, plan, and span.
Again, spanned? I don't think those are... I mean, those are like more like half rhymes.
No, span. S-P-A-N.
Oh. Again, span.
Yeah, it's one of those things I'm like, it's there. It's rhymes. It's really just trying to think of rhymes, really.
Actually, another thing about it, I said there's a lot. I don't think... There's a lot of half rhymes. I'm not sure there's a lot of full rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Again... Pen! Again, pen. You see, even that doesn't really work. So I don't think there's really much we can do about that. I think we gotta just... Well, we'll get something close, but that's not... Some nights I wake from that dream again. I'm remembering a meme that came from the being stabbed. I forgot what episode it was, but it was like you were talking about like a thing where you go in your house and you turn on the lights and your brother's still there. He's just standing there with the sword in hand. I forgot what episode that was. So it's like, some nights I wake from my dream again. My brother's there. What would be next? My brother's still there. No, because still doesn't make sense. My brother's there makes more sense. My brother's there. Again, just doesn't... There's not really great words. Some nights I wake from that dream again. My brother's there. And it's not pretend. John actually gets stabbed. Plot twist of the century.
This time, actually.
Some nights I wake from that dream again. My brother's there and it's not pretend. I mean, it fits, but obviously, like, there's a lot of things that have double meaning, right? So obviously, this isn't talking about you actually getting stabbed, because that's not what happened. It was just your childhood imagination. So I guess this is going to be talking about how... Well, I guess it could just be... Maybe I'm trying to put meaning to it when it doesn't need it. Maybe it's just more of a comedy thing. It goes off the first line still being comedy.
Right. It's still... It's just a joke, you know? It's not like...
Did you have anything?
I'm actually fearful of being murdered. I immediately thought my brother's there with sword in hand.
Again, hands.
Like he's gonna,
yeah. Didn't we have hands somewhere else, though?
It sounds like we brought it up.
Two loud voices and a mic in hand. I mean, it's...
yeah.
It doesn't hurt to... Because we're going to reuse a couple words, probably. But I don't know. Wait, hang on. Okay, so maybe put a pin in the second line there. Some nights I wake from that dream again. I laugh it off because that's my style. Is what I was thinking of. Because that is how you do comedies. You laugh it off.
Right. As well as it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, when I was a kid, it scared me. But now I just
now you
find
laugh
it
at
hilarious.
It. Yeah. I'm also thinking personally... for this section, because this section, once you're done saying your thing in this verse, it's going to go into a chorus. And instead of just going back to the basic chorus, I think it should crescendo into the chorus. So, I laugh. So this one I think should be, I laugh it off, because that's my style. Dun, 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 and then crescendo, and then into the chorus. I think that's how the beat should go. Whether we figure out the words or not is a different story. So let's just for the sake of the argument use the thing. So, some nights I wake... So wait, hang on. What was this beat again? Some nights I wake from that dream again. My brother's there and it's not pretend. I laugh it off, cause that's my style. Dun 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 dun. Oh, we're the provokers turning... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's absolutely what the beat should be. My brain's cooking here. I don't want to move too far ahead, but it's... Oh, we're the provokers turning chaos into song, because that goes back to the other one, which is turning... What was that? Turning pain into song. Yeah, it goes back to that. But instead of pain, it goes to chaos, because I mentioned through and through that podcast is chaotic, and that's what's fun about it. It's obviously not too chaotic, because then it's just chaos. But it hasn't. There's enough chaos in it that it makes it interesting. I'm gonna worry about that later. I'm writing that down for a personal note for myself, because obviously once we're done with this verse, we're gonna end off for today. Me and John still have another episode to do, but for you guys, we're gonna end off. But we still need that last line. I laugh it off because that's my style. Wait, what did you say? You said so when you were little, you were like scared constantly about it, or like would you say you were traumatized about it?
I mean, jokingly, I would say it wasn't something I thought of often. It was just something that like, I didn't want to tell anybody about.
Okay, I mean that's childhood trauma. It's not trauma in the sense of what other people have, but I'm just thinking because it works into the song, so. I laugh it off, because that's my style. Guess trauma's content for a little while. Is where I was going with that. So hang on. I laugh it off, because that's my style. Guess trauma's content for a little while. Crescendo into the chorus. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. Yeah, I think that would work. It's up to you if you want to go with that. But...
I think it's still like making fun of it still.
It is.
I like that. It's not like, oh, this is actual trauma. Like it's ridiculous.
Right, it's ridiculous. Okay, so do you want to go? I might do you think we should just full send that one? Not even a star near that one?
Yeah, I think it's full send it, you know?
Okay. We finish it. Trauma's content. Gotta put it in, because we gotta turn everything into content. I mean, come on.
Indeed.
For a little while. And I'm going to make a mark that this is crescendoing. I'm sure there's an actual musical symbol for that, but I don't know it. So I'm just making a big line.
Last hand sign, yeah. That's usually what it looks like.
Is that what it actually is?
Yeah, because, at least that's what it was always been as when... So I just assume it is what it is.
I see. I mean, I just have a big line with the word crescendo on it, and I'm pretty sure crescendo is spelled wrong. But regardless, it's for me, and I know what it says. Okay, so obviously we don't have the full song done, because that was never going to happen in an hour and 30-minute episode. But I think we got some really good progress, and I think I was able to incorporate a lot of John's ideas without trying to override his ideas, because that was my only concern, is because when I get a beat, my brain is like, here's this lyric. You want to use this one. That's one of my... We should do another episode on toxic traits, because that's one of them. So, going over the song that we have so far. Obviously, I'm not going to be the one singing this. I'll find someone else to do that, because I'm not a professional singer. But I'll go over it, so... We started with a question and a half-baked plan. 2 loud voices and a mic in hand. Talking about the big stuff, tiny and absurd. 1 minute it's... Oh yeah, I wrote down 1 minute it's world peace. Next it's Wordle, Wars, and Words. Because one of the things I wanted to incorporate is... the Wordle episode is called Wordle Wars. And the description's like, wars have been fought for centuries. Blood has been spilled. Like, it starts like that, I think. And so I can't stop thinking about it, so I kind of added it. Well, I put a star next to that. That might change. Talking about the big stuff, tiny and absurd. 1 minute it's world peace, next it's Wordle, Wars, and Words. He's the game show guy, spinning every wheel. I'm the bald one, dreaming what's fake feels real. Yeah, my brother stabbed me once. What did we write down that? Wait, that's not why I scratched.
Dude, that's where we edited. My brother stabbed me once.
I thought we added more to that.
Anyway. Yeah, I thought we did have something there.
Am I going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? I crossed something out, but it couldn't have been that long. It's just it's like a word I crossed out. Hang on. I'm the bald one. Oh, no. That's the one before it. Yeah, my brother's... Oh, yeah, that's what I didn't write it down. I have it in my thing here, but I didn't write it down. So, hang on. Let me do this again. He's the game show guy spinning every wheel. I'm the bald one dreaming what's fake feels real. Yeah, my brother stabbed me once, at least in my head. So now we... Wait, I did not do this right. It's fine. I don't think we said this. Why did I write this? Or no, I said this.
It was, at least in my head, I knew it was fake when I woke up in bed or something like that.
I wrote 2. That's why I'm confused with what I'm looking at. So I wrote that one, and I also wrote, so now we're chasing dreams instead of going to bed. I also wrote that one too. So we'll get whatever. That's the next line. So then the chorus. The chorus is the thing I'm solidifying on. We know what we did here. Oh, we're the provokers, poking at the silence till it breaks. We're jokers and thinkers, finding meaning in our mistakes. From the heavy to the dumb, from the heart to the skit. If it matters or it doesn't, we're still talking about it. And then it has a little instrumental there. They say therapy's expensive and they're not wrong. So we provoke the world by turning pain to song. Some nights I wake from that dream again. My brother's there and it's not pretend. That's not exactly the beat, but whatever. I laugh it off, cause that's my style. Guess content's trauma for a little while, what I was about to say. Guess trauma's content for a little while. Crescendo, and then into the chorus. Okay. So obviously, it's a first draft. This was not going to be, obviously, what the final product might be. I think the chorus we nailed. I think that I didn't put stars near any of these lines. I put a star next to the specific word of skit, in case I find out something better. Now that I sing it a couple times in my head, skit does work, so I might not change it. Well, like I said, if I find a better word, I'll change it, but it does have to be 4 letters, because that's what dumb is. So... I'm not sure. It'd have to be a 4-letter word that also means the same thing. So we'll see. That might be the same in the final product. I don't know. But in terms of the overall chorus, I think it's solid. I think we nailed the chorus. It talks exactly about what the Provokers is all about. The first line is saying, oh, we're the Provokers. Clear, cut, dry. Poking at the silence till it breaks is obviously referring to how we're trying to provoke a conversation, which in a world of silence where people don't want to talk to each other anymore. We're jokers and thinkers. We joke all the time. It's a comedy podcast. But we also think deeply based on like all the different topics and stuff. Finding meaning in our mistakes calls back to season 1 and how season 1 sucked a bunch of booty cheeks, and how we've learned from that. From the heavy to the dumb, that's talking about heavy is talking about really any topic. It doesn't have to be 100% serious topics. It encompasses all of them. But like Toast to the End of the World is pretty heavy. I mean, you're thinking about your last moments before you die, right? So that can be heavy. To the dumb, which refers to really any episode that's dumb, right? From the heart, like I already kind of explained what the double meaning is there. To the skit just refers to other types of episodes, because we already have heavy and dumb, so it can't be the same meaning as dumb, because otherwise you're just saying the same thing twice. So it's talking about how like we do, like game shows are kind of a skit if you think about them, because it's not actually a game show. John's not actually in a physical environment with a spinning wheel that he, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And then, if it matters or it doesn't, is like I wanted to make sure to include that, because that's one of our things that we say constantly is, hey, these topics, 90% of the topics don't matter, 10% do. So, it's like that kind of idea. And then, we're still talking about it. I think that's how it should, that's how the course should end. I'm glad that, me and John both agreed on that one, because that's kind of how I wanted the course to end. Whether what happened in the middle, whatever, but that's how I wanted it to end. So I think we did really good for an hour and a half. I think we did pretty good. And now I opened FL Studio, so now I actually have something to go off of here for when I come back to it, which will honestly be later today, because I can't do these things and then start and then not at least finish it. Whether I finish the entire thing, that's not going to happen. What I mean is like finishing the lyrics and then going back 2 days later and be like, wow, these lyrics suck. Let me change it. Let me just bomb everything. Self-destruct. It doesn't work. Which honestly, I did that with John's song a couple times. So yeah, John, what do you think? I think we did pretty well.
I think we did too, yeah. I think we did a good job at describing what the podcast is like through this song. So I think it'll turn out well.
Yeah, I think so as well. I did just look at that time, and we did go way over. I mean, I knew we were over, but I think we were this over. So it's not a deluxe episode, but it was approaching. It was getting there. Yeah, so I think it's going to do it. John, you win. You had so many great ideas that you accumulated 50 million points. And Jeff didn't even contribute at all, so he just sucks. So he didn't get anything.
Yeah, to say something, but for now, it's nothing.
Yeah, I actually minus 50 points for him not even engaging because it's like this is a podcast. You gotta like actually engage. So just like, come on, man.
Right.
Um. So yeah, good job,
All
John.
those times where there's a bit of a silence and we're not saying anything, it's because Jeff doesn't want to contribute. We're giving him the floor, and then he just doesn't say anything.
Right. Exactly. So, but yeah, I think like I said, overall, really good episode. I'm glad we were able to get the ball rolling. And I will, of course, give you guys updates as the musical progresses. However, if you want more updates or you want even, if you want the updates way quicker, head on over to our Patreon and you can join one of the tiers. I think the lowest tier you can get with the behind the scenes content is the Provoker supporter tier. No, that's the first one. It was Provoker Pillar or something. I haven't looked at it in a while, honestly. But head on over to there and you can check, and that's where you'll get all the like sneaky updates. But obviously, what's gonna happen with just the Bare Bones podcast is you'll know when the song comes out, and you might know that it's approaching, but you won't know like the actual in-depth details. So if you want the in-depth details, head on over to our Patreon, the Provokers, and go into one of the tiers. And the tiers will tell you when you get behind the scenes content. So, but with that out of the way, I think it's time to end this episode. So, thank you guys so much for listening. We hope we provoked a conversation, made you laugh along the way. You can find me over on YouTube at FlabsXE Gaming. I do a lot of variety gaming content over there. It's a lot of fun. Go check us out. And then you can find John in 3 different places. Isn't that crazy? You can find him over on Twitch at JeebensFeebens and on YouTube in 2 different scenarios. You can find him Jeebens Feebens just by itself for his normal channel. And you can also find his VOD channel where he uploads all of his previous VODs. And I personally enjoy the channel a lot because I would try and watch VODs on Twitch, and Twitch is like, hey, you're watching this 3 days later. Unacceptable. We deleted it already. And I was like, this is stupid. And so he has the VOD channel now, which actually I have it pulled up right now. I was watching the Minecraft SMP. So not during the episode, obviously, but before we started the episode. So yeah, go check him out over there. And of course, check us out. I kind of mentioned the Instagram account already, but like I said, the Provokers Podcast official is our Instagram account. We just passed 500 followers, so thank you guys, appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are able to find it okay. And then obviously our X at Provokers Pod. Same thing up there, same thing over there, just Twitter. So, and then of course you can find us on YouTube as well, The Provokers Podcast. I mentioned this in the last episode of the one before that we have our own separate YouTube channel now. Previously the podcast episodes would go up on my channel, and I kind of wanted to separate it, and it makes more business sense, because if this podcast, knock on wood is something if you don't want that. Build the wood! I'm building the wood. Because if this podcast becomes massive, I don't want it to be like it's fine if it's connected, but I want it to be its own entity. I want it to be its own thing. And so for a while I was kind of trying to make it so that would be a thing. And now it is. The Provokers Podcast over on YouTube. Go check it out. Go hit that subscribe button, and you will get a free cookie in the mail. I won't say when, because that'd be too obvious. And I'm not going to explain why some episodes are missing. Go listen to, I think it was either Dine and Design, or no, it would have been Boredom Takeover or something after that. Whatever it was, I explained it in that episode, so go listen to that and you'll get the full scoop. And of course, check out the songs. Next Up John, I talked about earlier. Next Up Ethan, same thing. On basically any streaming platform that's ever existed besides YouTube Music. So go listen to those. And I already promoted the Patreon a little bit, but we also have extended cuts over there. The first 5 are like $3, so you can kind of dip your toe, see if you like them. If you don't, it was $3. You can't even buy a Big Mac with $3 anymore. It's a sad world. But the rest become 5. That way, if you want to get more content, it's still there. We will make more once the new year starts. Because, like I said, we got to get on that. But yeah, that's gonna do it. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.